Hello, everybody. Welcome to Nerdstop Discussions Without Repercussions. I'm your host, Seamus Landy.
And I'm Lucas Suchek.
Very nice, very nice.
Right,
So,
we're here.
how have you been?
I've been good. I've been living. I did stuff for sure.
Living life?
Yeah.
It's good, it's good.
And you?
Same old, except I'm now done with college for the first year at
Yo.
least. This motherfucker's still got a week
I
or
got
so left.
We're recording this on Sunday. Thursday is my last class.
Oh, yeah, happy Cinco de Mayo to anybody.
Is Cinco de Mayo. Yesterday was May the 4th. Did you celebrate?
It was actually free comic book day, so I went to the Newburgh Comics near us and got some shit.
Nice. Did you watch any Star Wars or?
No.
No, I hate Star Wars.
But, actually.
What?
Here's the thing. Star Wars is a good franchise, but if nobody else in the world talked about Star Wars ever, I would like it way more. You know what I mean?
I guess.
Because it's just one of those, because you're not a prequel fan, are you?
I like the prequels.
Yeah,
They're
you
good.
would.
What's that mean?
Listen, I'm going to drop my opinions on Star Wars, and I know plenty
Oh,
of people aren't going to
jeez,
like this, but
okay.
I'm just going to be honest.
Okay.
First off, all the prequels are bad movies.
Okay.
Episode 3 has a good story, but the movie itself is not that good.
All right.
Episodes 7 and 8 are better than episodes 1 and 2. I'll give you this, 3 is better than episode 9, but Force Awakens and Last Jedi are better films than Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones.
Okay.
And I guess the hottest take I have, we have not had a good piece of Star Wars media since the original trilogy, and I will die on that hill. I've not read any of the comics, so some of them probably are good, but
So it sounds like you're smoking reefer, and you're high.
What do you mean?
And you're smoking weed.
I dispute any of those points.
I think the prequels are all right. I feel like they get shit on way more than they deserve. I feel like
Boring fucking movie.
I mean, I like the action. I think they're entertaining to watch. You know,
I guess so.
I like the Phantom Menace the most out of the original three. Or no, I think I like Revenge of the Sith and then the Phantom Menace.
I was gonna say Phantom Menace is
The
a
Phantom
favorite.
Menace Phantom Menace is pretty good. I think it's all right. I think I just enjoy the lightsaber action. I feel like you don't watch the prequels for the story. You watch it because there isn't enough lightsaber action anywhere in the original trilogy. That's
Wait, what do you
flashy.
mean? How? The original trilogy, that was awesome. Those lightsaber fights.
they
Luke
were
and
awesome,
Darth
but
Luke and Darth Vader duel.
I liked the idea that we got to see Jedi Knights in their prime. There's only really one lightsaber fight between two trained besides for the Darth Vader Obi-Wan lightsaber fight, which was good. I appreciate it. It's tasteful, but it isn't a duel,
I'll give you that. I guess given the context of the prequels and all that, it seemed a little anticlimactic.
Yeah,
but
I feel like it was nice to see that what the Jedis could do in their prime,
I guess just the boring story really doesn't carry it for me. That's the biggest thing.
I think it was just kind of important to kind of show all right, let's let them let's see what these guys can do now.
Yeah, okay, Lucas.
And you didn't like the
All
Clone
right,
Wars?
Lucas. What, the Clone Wars, the show?
Yeah.
I didn't see any of it, and I'm not watching the Clone Wars. I'm not watching the Clone Wars. Here's the thing.
It is really long.
Here's the thing. I'm sure it's long, and I'm sure it's a good show. But that's another one where every time I hear discussion about the Clone Wars, it's just a bunch of fucking skinny ass 20-something white guys, us, just standing in a circle jerking each other off, talking about how good Episode 3 was.
Episode 3 of the whole show?
Well, it's basically just Anakin, and
I mean, I feel like Star Wars fanboys are always gonna kind of taint. I feel like fanboys in general will always taint media.
But Star Wars especially is very notorious for their shit. But listen, I have plenty of friends who are big Star Wars fans, and I've been talking about too much of Star Wars and how much I hate it for the past few weeks. So
yeah, I guess
I'm in
fair.
an anti-Star Wars high kind of at the moment.
Yeah, I'm doing this thing where in May I'm gonna watch a movie every day, which is gonna be very busy.
But that's impossible. You don't watch any movies.
Yeah, well, I watched A New Hope on the 1st.
Yeah.
And then I watched Raiders of the Lost Ark on the 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
And then I watched Empire Strikes Back on the 3rd.
Sensing the theme.
Then Return of the Jedi on the 4th. I want to get the original trilogy in for May the 4th. I don't know what I'm gonna do today. Today's the 5th. I'll figure it out. I've been just looking at the shelf and being like, that looks good.
Maybe now you'll get the prequels.
Maybe now I'll rewatch the prequels, but I agree that like since the prequels there hasn't been really anything good come out of Star Wars. Like, I didn't enjoy any of the sequel trilogy. I feel like people love to shit on the sequel trilogy, but I don't really care to. It's like they were bad. I'd like to forget they exist now.
You know what? I'm gonna drop something on you,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna just let this sink in for a second.
Yeah.
When it comes to like Star Wars discussion, when it comes to movies especially, two that are very not as often brought up, but like a lot more recently that people have been bringing up, Rogue One and Solo, right?
Yeah.
And they're seen as like, oh, the better Disney Plus and like Disney era stuff, or like, oh, the stuff like that. And a common take is Rogue One is a very underrated but good movie. First of all, that phrase has been said so many times, it is no longer underrated because now people just generally love it. But I'm going to drop this on you.
Yeah.
Rogue One is a boring-ass 6 out of 10 movie, and Solo is the best Star Wars movie since Episode 6.
Wow, you are like you're not even smoking reefer anymore. You're injecting heroin over there. You're seeing 3 people in this room right now.
I mean it. I genuinely mean it.
I
don't care what anyone says. Solo's fun. Solo's an entertaining movie. I like seeing it.
Like Solo. I feel like it's so.
What don't you like about it?
First, I hate the color palette. I feel like the whole movie's brown.
You know what? I will give you that.
And I don't. It just felt like such a nothing burger. You didn't need to watch it at all. It was like.
So Rogue One.
Well, Rogue One, at least there's like that's referenced in the original trilogy. At least like, oh, like explained like, oh, all right, well, this is how they got the plans. We get to follow the group that got the Death Star plans. It has some weight. But
I mean, I guess so. But
there's no weight to like, oh, this is how Don. I almost called him Don.
Don.
This is how Han got the dice, and he won the Falcon, and he met Chewie, and it's like it's cool, but it feels like it. I feel like it all happens very quick. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's like in one movie, he basically gets everything that makes him him, including his last name. May we not forget, Han Solo.
You know what? I can give you that. That is not a very well executed part of it. But like the prequels pack so much shit into theirs. They span like fucking years.
I guess.
Don't they? Because like Anakin is like what 10 in the first movie.
Yeah, there's
Probably
a big
younger.
time jump though,
And then he's
for the first. Well, I don't think there's any, or a very small time jump between 2 and 3. But the Phantom Menace into the second one, there is a pretty sizable jump. That, if we're being honest, there isn't a lot of media that fills in that gap. Like I feel like everything from 2 to 6 is like, in like 2 to probably even 7 is like, that's where all the meat and potatoes of recent Star Wars, like, Clone Wars and Andor and The Mandalorian
and
Rogue One
Solo.
and so like everything is in that little gap.
Book of Boba Fett.
The Book of Boba Fett. But I feel like we don't often talk about the like 15 or however many year gap it is between the first movie and the second. Like Obi-Wan training Anakin. I feel like that would have some like cool things to kind of look into and that kind of stuff. But I just feel like nothing's really gone into that.
I guess the reason for that is because, like, despite the fucking circle jerk around the prequels, I think Episode 1 is still relatively the most hated non-sequel Star Wars movie. And so between two, between after Episode 2 and like before Episode 7, that's like the era that most people like genuinely like and give a shit about.
Yeah.
For good reason, I'd say probably.
Yeah.
Because I feel like after the failure of the sequel trilogy, Disney would just kind of want to bury that.
Yeah. I would Disney has done some questionable things with Star Wars, but generally, yeah. My take is the most simple, that original trilogy good, prequels worse, sequels the worst.
My take is original trilogy very good. Sequel shit, prequel shit. With each of them have their perks. And you know what? I'll be one to say it. I liked The Force Awakens, and I thought I thought The Last Jedi was an all right film.
I think if you don't really like dissect like The Force Awakens, I feel like it could be an enjoyable movie. Like I know like Shay.
Yeah.
I was talking to him about Star Wars and
New Nerdstop character.
New Nerdstop
Friend of the show.
Shay. And he isn't a big Star Wars fan.
Welcome to the
And his take was that he liked the sequels because he had so little. This is kind of my interpretation of it. But it's because he had so little involvement with the original trilogy and sequels.
Well, yeah, that's probably
like
why.
watching these movies, they are like fundamentally like good movies, but they just aren't good Star Wars movies. Is kind of what I took out of that.
I think the best way to say it is like the more you like Star Wars, the more you're gonna like the prequels, and the less you like Star Wars, the more you're gonna like the sequels. So I think that's probably why I have the preference for the sequels. But here's the thing: I'm not fucking watching either of those trilogies like ever again in my life if I can avoid it.
Yeah.
But the originals I think are pretty fine. But you know what? Enough about Star Wars. Let's get to the real shit.
What is the real shit?
Oh no, you playing cool video games lately?
Um,
I've been playing more Minecraft lately because I'm, as said, out of college finally. While this nerd has his last week. Here's the thing that I didn't realize about college when it comes to like getting, because of course every college gets out at different times.
Yeah.
I was excited for this to be like my big week. First week of summer vacation, but none of my friends are out either, so it's just kind of like thugging on my own.
Yeah. Well, you got a little brace week, and then you can start partying or whatever it is.
I'm here to party, man. I spent fucking the last 2
Yeah.
weeks just suffering because of these fucking miserable ass finals. I'm ready to cut loose in the caboose with your host Seamus and Lacus.
Yeah, but I've also been playing Minecraft. Our friend has this server that he runs. You're in like the Discord server, like the main one that we're kind of hang out in, and he made it for that. And I've put an unruly amount of time into that server.
Not the Nerdstop Discord server, which you should join.
You should join, yes. We have a Discord server. I'll put it in the description or where have you.
Yeah.
I put so much time into that Minecraft server, and nobody plays on it. I'm the only one.
There's a few of those, wasn't there? At least in like mini lore
over the years.
Mini lore of like our friend group.
Our friend group that like kind of survives today basically all met. Like what 7 years ago? It would be the first year of
middle school.
Yeah,
right.
like the first year, but like
we didn't become
really
like
started becoming
until, like 8th grade.
Me and you started.
Well, we were friends back in like 4th grade.
Yeah,
maybe,
yeah. So
little known fact: me and Lucas knew each other since like we were both like 10. We probably said that within the 40 episodes, but
surely it's in there.
We're saying it now.
Nice.
Excuse me.
You're really just excreting gases today, huh?
I'm just that guy, man. Just that guy.
Just that guy.
But yeah, throughout that, there's been like plenty of Minecraft servers and just like various stuff like that from many different times. Many Discord servers are made because I feel like everyone can relate to just like throughout the 7 years, friend groups. It's been a very
they evolve and they kind of take weird kind of turns and stuff. And there's definitely been a very interesting history of our group.
I guess the best way to say it is we started with like 8, latched on to like 2 other friend groups and became like 30 at some point.
there was like a time where it was like this was like probably like middle of high school.
During COVID era, that was like
COVID, and then like right after, it was like this super group of like 30 people, and we had this one Discord server.
And like that, not even and like 30 consistent people. That's the thing.
Yeah. It's not like there's like 30 people, but they all formed other little things. There were little things formed, but like for
in general,
part,
like it was, and then it would go like to like 20 or so, and then down. I think we're now back to like basically original, if not smaller.
For me, it was 30 and then like 6 instantly because there was a lot of drama with the Discord server to the point where the Discord server that I was referring to earlier with the Minecraft server is called the Safe Haven because it was a safe haven from that other Discord server with all those other
Yeah.
drama people in it. But that was a whole thing. And I don't even really know the full story of it. But
I mean, that's just how life is, really, when you think
Yeah.
about it. So, hey, what matters is, we have each other and other people.
We're here.
That's the thing. I don't think I even like. I don't want, knock on wood because I don't want like anything to happen based on me saying this. But like, I don't think anybody needs like a lot of friends.
Yeah.
I want like eight
That's
friends.
Yeah. I don't.
You could get enough done with that.
Yeah. I feel like our friend group is kind of evolved in this really interesting way where it's like we kind of all know each other. First it was D&D, and then D&D kind of just stopped happening. So we've like really exclusively known each other, at least like the people I talk to the most nowadays, like through playing video games and stuff, which is cool. But like
Yep.
there's kind of this cool paper trail you can follow if you're still in like old Discord servers where it's like, whoa, like this is like where this is where I spent my life for like 6 months.
Yeah, exactly.
Like-
I'm in quite a few like old dead servers myself, and like every like 5 months I just kind of look through a few of them, just like I'm going to a fucking
Yeah.
museum.
Like there's this one server I'm in called the Trio of Gamers, where me and two friends.
Let me guess. There's 3 of you.
Yeah, there was 3 of us. And
I was thinking of saying that before you said 2 friends, so the joke doesn't land anymore. I'm sorry, everybody. My bad.
But me and 2 friends, I think they've been mentioned on the podcast. Well, one of them was on the podcast, Jaden. Whoa, hello.
I didn't know. I accidentally pressed
You
that.
can, yeah, stand up and then it'll. But Jaden and Andrew, it was us
Yeah.
3, and we every single day for like one summer. I think it was probably like the summer of 2018 or 2019. Every single day we would sit in there and we
18
would.
or 19. That's like before we even like had the friend group.
Yeah, well, me and Andrew, and kind of the little group, with an asterisk that still call consistently today,
Mm.
has been around for a while in some shape or form. But us 3 would play modded Minecraft like every day for like a whole summer, and we probably went through like 7 or 8 mod packs where like we would just like play every day and then complete it and then go on to the next thing. But yeah, that was I'm still in that server, and sometimes I'll go back and like the interesting thing about our friend group, at least like in the dynamic that I'm in, is texting doesn't exist. We don't text each other. It is me, at least like especially like Andrew and such people.
Yeah.
We talk exclusively through voice call.
Well, it's just easier that way, if anything.
Yeah. But like the last, I think probably like 30 texts I've gotten from Andrew are like, hey, like want to call? Like, hey, you free? Like, that kind of stuff where it's like, hey, let's call.
No,
And
yeah, I
even then,
get
it
that.
doesn't happen most of the time. He's just in there, and then I'm like, oh, Andrew's in call, I'll join.
Yeah, I've seen some of that before.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I guess just how life works. Most of the time, I see my friends mostly just stuff like that. We don't really text that much. They're just like, hey, you want to go see this movie?
Yeah.
Speaking of movies, a movie that I think I saw as of last episode, but you didn't. Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire.
Yeah.
Hot release of end of March, and it's gonna be released like probably within like the next week or so.
Yeah.
So topical, yeah. But so let's get into it, because I know that me and you have very conflicting thoughts about the film.
Well, I didn't know we had conflicting thoughts, but.
Well, right off the bat, how about we at the same time we count down, we say what we gave the movie out of 10.
Oh, wait, let me check.
Well, you got some TikTok time? You got some
No, I need to check what my score was.
motherfucker hasn't memorized it.
Okay, that's what I thought it was, but I want to make sure it was right.
All right. 3, 2, 1, 8.
5.
5 out of
Yeah.
10. Godzilla X Kong is a 5 out of 10, apparently, people. No, come on, say it.
Okay.
Why is it?
It was. I felt like it. I don't know. I mean, what did you enjoy? Like 5 out of 10 is like dead in the middle of the road. Like it's not like I was like, oh, I hated it. This is why. It was just like, I don't know. It was okay.
Well, what didn't you like about it? Like,
I mean,
excuse me.
I feel like it wasn't anything special. I feel like
What do you mean nothing special? Kong picked up a baby Kong and just like started hitting people with it.
yeah, I guess. I mean, it was just kind of like,
That's fucking fun. Like,
I mean, it was all right. I think a problem with a lot of these new Godzilla and King Kong movies is a lot of scale is lost. Like, I felt like the whole movie, it felt more just like a bunch of guys doing things, and then like occasionally there'd be a shot where he's like holding the finger up to the human, and King Kong's finger is like the human's like smaller than like the tip of his finger, and I'm like, how does that even work? That's a fucking like.
what do you mean?
I feel like my dad brought this up in the car, and I feel like it's a good point. When King Kong was originally released, he could hold a person in the pot like in his hand.
Yeah.
And now, like, there's a human smaller than the tip of his finger, and it's like,
Oh, that's a problem to you?
it's
that's
not a problem.
That's a plot
But
hole?
I feel like
This is a different
I feel like
Kong.
it doesn't. I feel like it doesn't feel that big, except for when like a scene like that pops up, where it's like, oh, I guess he is kind of huge.
I guess in terms
But
of
then
scale,
in every
yes,
other
but
scene,
like,
it's like, oh yeah, like he like I don't know.
but
The
like,
buildings just kind of turn into just little obstacles for them to crash into and not give any craps about.
yeah, they don't give a crap. They're the monsters, dude.
Well,
like,
they're the monsters, but they're also supposed to be the protectors of humanity. And Kong isn't really
okay,
a monster.
okay.
You see
No,
what
no,
he does? He's
no,
like,
no,
"You're the
no,
one I
no,
like."
no. Godzilla's not a protector of
oh,
humanity.
I meant Kong.
Yeah, okay. Godzilla's a protector of nature and humanity. He
They
sometimes
literally said
likes them.
They literally said in the movie protector of humanity.
No, they didn't.
I'm
like,
90% sure they did.
yeah, okay. Well, the 10% is right. You're wrong. So like,
Okay. But I feel like
you gotta understand, Kong. Like, I think in canon he's only seen like 2 cities before, and that was the second one in the movie. So like, he barely even knows like how they work. So like,
I guess, but like I just feel like, but like there's even a scene where like Kong, like in the big final end scene, he like looks like in a building, and he's like, oh, the people, oh no, and then like
did that happen?
yeah,
I might have
he
forgot.
kind of like, it's like a 3-second scene where like he looks into like a building, and he's like, oh my gosh, what the heck, like there's people in there, oh god, but then it's like, all right, well, like, you know, what I miss, and I've heard that what was the other new Godzilla movie that came out? Godzilla
-1.
-1.
Very good film.
I haven't watched it, but I think I probably will, because I was talking to my dad. But like, something I miss is like the ground shots of Godzilla walking through a city, and like being able to like look up and just see how big he is, and like seeing Godzilla being like, I want Godzilla to be a bad guy again, I think.
Well, that's what -1 is for.
Yeah, well,
That's
I'm
the
gonna
one
go
where-
watch it.
Yeah,
but
it's a
like,
very good film. But like in this one, he's just like,
in this one,
it's
he's
goofy
taking
fun
a
time, and
nap
that's, like,
in the Coliseum, and it's like, okay.
he still destroyed the Coliseum. Like,
He's
he's allowed to be more than one thing.
I
Like,
know, but it's just like, I thought. I don't know.
I guess I could give you this. His ending was a little anticlimactic. I can give you. I felt
feel
like a
the
little
whole
like this is
movie,
it, but,
it
like,
was building up to like Godzilla be like, oh my god, he's like harnessed the power of the sun that was sitting under this iceberg for like a million years.
But he did that.
He
did that.
He
like,
did. But then he didn't do shit.
Yeah, he was fucking
he
glowing
whiffed
pink.
2 lasers, killed probably thousands of civilians, didn't hit the guy at all.
He fucking hit him. He used his atomic
Alright.
breath on him.
He used it.
Like-
I think the last time he did, he like used 2 lasers, completely missed. and
Okay,
then the
okay.
last
So
one
people,
hit.
Lucas's
And that's
perfect
the
movie
only
would
thing
just be
he did.
Godzilla constantly going, no
No,
fucking break
but,
in between. He was
like,
fucking doing
he-
flips and shit, dude. It was cool.
Yeah, I mean, he was doing stuff, but he wasn't like. I feel like he was made out to be a lot stronger than he was. I feel like he was just kind of normal. Like, it didn't feel like his breath was extra powerful.
Well, you know how it would have worked if he was was at his regular form. He would have done worse. That's how it is. It's like
All right.
he didn't have to turn to the screen and be like, "Hey guys, Godzilla here." If you can tell, my atomic breath is much stronger than it was in the last film.
I
Like-
couldn't tell that it was much stronger. I feel like it was just kind of the same. I feel
Okay,
like it's
no.
always been like, oh shit, it's like really powerful. And then I don't know, like last time he laser breathed a hole into the center of the earth. in the last one.
Well, this is all just nitpick stuff. If I'm being honest, like all the stuff you're
I don't
pointing
know.
out.
I just like
I said it
have to
before.
nitpick 'cause
No,
I don't
I said
hate
it before.
The movie.
I said it before. This is how Lucas criticizes
no,
the
no.
movie. He can watch the best movie of all time, and it'd be like the way that guy walked into a room. It's like,
no,
why
it's
did
just,
he do that?
I didn't. I just generally I didn't really enjoy it. I thought the bad guy was forgettable.
Scar King.
Yeah,
How is he forgettable?
He's just another Kong, but on a dragon. I don't.
He had personality.
No,
he was
really.
He was
just
overly
evil.
Yeah, he was overly cocky. He fucking laughed. Well, he has more personality than like half the monsters in in any of these fucking movies.
I don't know.
He was all gangling stuff, and he's not as strong or as big as Kong, but he knows martial arts and he's moving around.
I mean,
he's smart. He's agile. All right, like.
All right. I mean, I didn't find him super. I mean, again, I'm not the Godzilla buff here, so I don't have as nuanced as a take, but 5 out of 10 is middle of the road.
5 out of 10. Okay.
I walked out of that movie and I was like, it was a movie.
So in the fucking movie where Godzilla, Kong, and Mothra are fucking floating in air, beating up fucking monkeys and dragons, you were just like,
a monkey.
Oh, it's okay. There were
And a
multiple.
dragon.
There were multiple.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
He was with his other.
I thought
he
you
was
meant
with
like
his
above
posse.
ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, still, he had a fucking whip made out of a Godzilla spine.
I
That was
also
cool.
thought all the ancient civilization stuff was pretty boring. It was like, oh, this is a new civilization, and then she's like, "That's where I'm from," and they're like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah. Listen.
And look, the gravity.
Listen, I know the human plots are hard to defend, but like, it's fucking it's world building, all right?
I know.
They can't just go in there and just be like floating around.
I don't care.
Because they can't just go in there and float around and just like have like the lace that gets to the surface and just be like, well, okay, that's how it works.
I just don't think I care about Godzilla and King Kong movies as much as you care about them. I'm not as invested.
It's fucking fun, all right?
All right.
Kong had No, because Kong had a cool axe and a cool glove, and he had a fucking little Kong. Did you at least enjoy the little Kong?
The little Kong was it was there for sure.
Well, he was like one of the highlights of the movie.
He was just like, I'm a little Kong and I'm evil, but now I'm friendly.
No, but he made funny noises, and he was kind of carrying the movie. He like
ginger.
Okay. First of all, everyone go listen to World's Finest Podcast, where you see me and my friend Jason's review of it.
Yes, so
my other podcast.
New podcast alert.
Put that in the description.
I will.
Fucking.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna put. Actually, do not watch World's Finest Podcast.
No, okay, listen. You have brought up no decent points as to why you don't like this movie.
It's because I don't not like it. I don't not like it. Yeah, it's middle of the road. I didn't feel here or there. I didn't dislike the movie. I thought it was still like okay. Like, I was like, it was colorful.
But Ghostbusters is
cool.
the Frozen Empire. What was that again? That was an 8 bordering 9.
It was a good movie. I enjoyed it.
All right, you have a letterbox, right? Throw your letterbox up on screen to plug it. What do you consider a 10 out? Give me like some examples of like 10s or 9s you've given.
9s I've given. I gave Blackberry a 9. That was a Blackberry documentary about the phone. It was really good. It had Glenn Howerton in it, and it was really cool and fun.
I heard it was good.
Let's see here. Sorry, I'm looking at some of these. I'm like, you would tear me apart for this.
No, come on.
I gave the Super Mario Bros. Movie a 9.
Oh, so the Super Mario Bros. Movie got a 9 out of 10?
Yeah. I'm trying to...
Damn,
yeah.
all right.
I feel like a lot of mine is partly nostalgia.
Mind if I scroll?
Yeah.
All right, let me read some reviews that Lucas gave. Okay.
I don't think that's the whole list.
Bird Box is 7.
Yeah. I thought it was entertaining, yeah.
I'm surprised anyone has watched Bird Box post, like, 2018. Did they make a second one? I feel like they made a second one.
I think they made a second one, and then they also made, like, a quote-unquote prequel, where it's, like, I don't know. That's, like, coming out now. Or, no, is that the other one? What's the... Bird Box is No Sight.
Yeah. A Quiet Place that you're probably thinking of. It's like...
I get them confused. I think there's a new one of either one of those coming out soon.
Lucas.
Uh-huh.
Why does The Lord of the Rings have a 1 star?
Because I fucking hate
half
that
star.
movie.
Half a star for Lord of the Rings?
I fucking hate that movie.
Why do you hate it? What do you mean? What?
It was terrible. I was so miserable.
That
it's so long, and I hate fantasy.
Okay, but like you gotta admit, it's at least a well-made film,
I mean,
well made
enough.
enough.
Made, but I don't care for them.
But like half a star, I feel like that's a bit cruel.
I hate that. What?
Okay, Okay, Lucas.
What?
Lucas, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is a 6 out of 10 movie.
Yeah, that was alright.
It's fucking Spider-Verse, dude. Like,
Yeah, it's alright. I
what-
don't know. I didn't
it's
watch the
amazing.
second one. I should probably get around to that eventually.
why is it only a 6? Why not like?
I don't
Why
know.
nothing higher? It's
I-
a beautiful looking film.
I mean, I thought it looked good. Yeah, I mean, the story was good. I mean, it just
So what brings it down 4 points from being like
the best movie. I don't know.
It's
I mean,
Spider-Verse, dude. It's awesome. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I thought it was good. Maybe I'd give it like a 7 now. Like, I don't know.
Spider. Lucas,
I don't know.
the way your mind works is interesting. To me.
I
it
just,
really
I don't,
is.
it was a movie. I don't know. I don't.
It's listen. I don't mean to sound like a petty asshole. That's like you're wrong for thinking this about this movie, but like, come on, man.
I don't know. I just thought it was whatever.
I guess so, but
I
like,
thought it was good.
whatever is just like
No,
thinking
it-
it's
like,
just whatever.
I
It's
didn't think it was
Spider-Verse.
whatever.
It
Yeah,
was a
I know.
groundbreaking film.
I didn't like
one of the
it.
most beautiful films
I don't know.
of the last 10 years.
I thought it looked really good, and I think that I mean,
I think he just hates fun. Everybody.
I don't hate fun. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah. Okay. Well, what else is there to talk about relating to movies after that little dispute?
after
But yeah, all
that-
around, I thought Godzilla X Kong was fun. I thought it had a good written. Yeah, I thought it was good villains. The human characters yet again weren't great, and some of the writing was a little off. But I thought it was fun. It was goofy. It was silly. It was you really saw the movie where Kong throws a rock, perfectly times a rock to throw at a monkey and land on his head, and it makes a fucking audible bonk sound. And you didn't think that was funny.
I thought it was funny.
A gorilla walks up to Kong.
That's
goes,
not gonna
"Arr,
take
arr,
it
arr,"
up a
and then
whole
Kong,
a
like,
whole number.
That gave it 7 points for me.
Yeah, that actually bumps it up to 9 because he threw the rock far and hit his head.
Yeah, don't talk down to me, Suchek.
Okay.
All right, so what else has been going on?
My,
I give it an 8.
my dad got a Star Wars pinball machine yesterday.
Oh yeah, Lucas is a pinball fanatic. Not sure if we
Yeah.
ever mentioned. But
Well, not nowadays, not so much. At the start of the podcast, we had
For real?
like a bunch, but we're down to 3. We just sold one to get the Star Wars one, and that's gonna probably stay for a long time. That's gonna
Oh,
be
yeah.
one of like the mainstays of the basement. Like, there's some that like we're like, all right, yeah. I mean, we have this, but like it's not gonna be here for long. And that like we have like a Jungle Queen, and like that's like it's like an older one. It's like like old, like So like we're not gonna keep that one forever. It's just
Yeah,
kind of there to kind of like be there. But Star Wars is gonna that it's pretty fun. It has this new thing where Stern, which is like a pinball manufacturer,
yeah,
they have like an Insider Connect app where you can make a profile, and with newer pinball machines they're making, you can get like achievements and stuff. And on your profile, so you get achievements for doing different things on different machines.
so you're just maxing pinball basically.
Yeah, I'm gonna 100% pinball, but
That
yeah,
does sound pretty fun,
ours has
actually, yeah.
that, and yeah, it's really fun.
Is
My
it like with
dad,
certain machines that works, or just like
yeah, just like the newer ones that they're coming
Yeah.
out with, but I think they're also gonna retrofit a few for ones that already exist, but. Yeah. My dad, for a second, he was going between getting
Excuse
a
me.
Mandalorian pinball machine or a Star Wars one, but we were
Same
like,
thing.
you got, well, a Mandalorian themed one exclusively, and then the Star Wars ones only focused on the original trilogy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, original. That's the case. You
Yeah.
got to get to it.
So we were like, yeah, we gotta get the original trilogy one.
Did we? I feel like we might have, but like, did we talk about the Beatles biopics they're making on here?
I think we mentioned that last time because
Oh, yeah.
we forgot to mention it. There hasn't
2
been
times
any
ago.
new news on it, unfortunately. No casting or anything, but
Tom Holland as Paul McCartney.
yeah, I can't wait.
That wouldn't be that bad, actually. Now I think about it,
What?
that wouldn't be that bad, actually.
Mm.
I mean, he's British. They kind of look similar.
Sure. There is a new Beatles announcement, and that's going to be a remastering of the Let It Be movie that was released in 1970. So, as you know, Peter Jackson did the Get Back documentaries, and basically,
And he's remastering this.
Yeah, he basically
What is this dude's obsession with the Beatles? Isn't he also is he also doing the biopics, or is that like
no, that's Sam Mendes,
that's right, yeah.
but it's because he like basically I think he made this restoration process that's like insane, and he used AI, which isn't like he didn't use AI like to create anything, but like he used like this algorithm to like pick out different things, like he was able to like separate like different like their voices into different like to isolate them and stuff, and that's how he got like Now and Then, because he was able to isolate John Lennon's vocals from the piano and all the extra fuzz that was on the original recording.
Yeah.
But,
I still remember when that happened. That was fucking legendary.
Yeah, I mean he's doing numbers to the Beatles community right now, but they just announced that they're gonna remaster the Let It Be movie, which a lot of people are pumped for because it's obviously like pretty low quality, not as low quality as the tapes he was given for Get Back, but it's still like relatively low quality.
Yeah.
And but that's just gonna be like a sprucing up version, which is gonna be great, and I'm gonna watch that new version when it comes out. I think they'll probably put it on Disney Plus, which is also exciting.
Yeah, well, that's where like the documentary went, right?
Yeah,
Disney Plus.
but this is like an already existing movie, and
Yeah.
I think that once it gets remastered, it's gonna be put onto a streaming service for, as far as I know, the first time.
Are any of the Beatles movies on streaming services? Because like there's like a bunch
think
of
so.
movies, aren't there? Or like
Yeah,
a good
there-
few,
there-
like a good
there's
handful.
4,
Hmm.
maybe 5. No, 5, including Yellow Submarine. I was just thinking of the live action ones.
Oh yeah, have Paul or Ringo said anything about the biopics? Have they said like, well, I'm looking forward to this, man?
Maybe. I looked up help on Google, and
Help?
that was not helpful because it just told me the definition of the word.
What were you looking for help for?
Movie. So I can see if it's on any streaming services.
Well, yeah, if you just type like a single word. it's
Yeah,
gonna show up.
I just didn't think about it. I was like, oh, help. It's on Apple TV, which,
Oh,
like, whatever.
yeah.
Sure.
Is that one of those where it's like if you have like a phone, it just comes with like your plan or whatever?
I don't think
For
so.
like I don't know.
I think that's like a separate thing.
I will say apparently Apple TV Plus is like relatively cheap, so you know.
Yeah.
In this world where like Netflix is, oh, that's something we could talk about. I know that like for any OG Nerdstop fans out there, us complaining about streaming services was like the OG thing for like a while.
Yeah.
But nowadays, I feel like services are getting a little too comfortable putting ads on there, you know?
Yeah.
Because like Hulu was like the mainstay of it, but now like Amazon Prime does it, HBO
Yeah.
Max does it. I think Netflix is considering doing it.
Or I think they are. I think they're doing it for like the lowest tier.
But
and then
yeah, but here's the thing: it'd be one thing if they were like, okay, so the prices are gonna remain the same, but we're gonna have a cheaper version with ads. But now they're just like, okay, the version we have now, we're gonna make that have ads, and then make it the one without ads even more expensive. So it's just like, what the fuck, man?
you gotta
Like,
make their bread somehow.
I guess so, but I feel like it's kind of tricky in this like modern economy because in this one where like nobody has like 20 streaming services,
Yeah.
so it's just kind of like, does anyone want to risk like spend all that money on just like $20 a month on Netflix?
Yeah.
Especially because Netflix, like I get it was the original, but like Netflix has like one good new show like every fucking 6 months.
I can't remember the last time. I mean, I used it for Breaking Bad like a year and a half ago when I watched
Yeah.
that. But
Ugh.
I think that was probably the last time I've like used Netflix at all, because it's just like,
Because that's the thing too. It's like everyone's talking about like, oh, all the services are off of like all this stuff is off Netflix because everyone's making their own service. What does Netflix have anymore? You know,
I
they
don't
have
know.
like
Sometimes I go on there. They have like a lot of comedy specials. I think they're promoting now and
I
whatnot.
I definitely know they definitely are the best when it comes to like comedy stuff. But like the last few things I consistently watched on there, they had Squid Games, which was pretty
Forgot
good.
about Squid- I didn't watch season 2. I don't.
They
know
made a
what
season
the-
2.
Yeah, that was like a whole thing back then.
Oh shit, I didn't know there was a second season.
Yeah.
Wednesday I
know.
watched that when that came out.
Seinfeld's on there.
I did I did watch my fair share of Seinfeld, to be fair, so maybe I have been using it more than that. Oh yeah, did you watch the new Seinfeld movie, Unfrosted?
No, I've never watched Seinfeld, so I didn't even hear about.
I thought
this.
you were a big Seinfeld fan.
Why would you think I'm a big Seinfeld fan?
Because I've heard you before mention Jerry Seinfeld like several times.
Yeah, because it's funny.
I remember you posting about like watching his comedy special he made like a few years ago and
What?
just being, yeah, you sent something to me. It was like, I'm watching the Seinfeld comedy special, and he was like, hey, what's the deal with coffee?
I did not do that.
Yes,
I
you
don't know
did.
What the
You
hell
did
you're
that.
talking about?
I swear on my life you did that.
Literally lying.
No, Lucas is the biggest Seinfeld fan. You're I could have. No, because I
never.
no. Listen, Lucas, you're ignoring the point. I'm right. You're wrong. Like.
Oh, true. Actually, I forgot. I had a whole phase where he was actually my favorite human.
No, this is how the podcast works. You know, I say my stuff and you agree with me.
Yeah.
You're there to sit on your bed and look pretty.
They have Thomas and Friends.
Well, now I got to get Netflix renewed again.
Yeah.
So.
I don't pay for streaming services.
No, it's gonna suck when I'm living on my own. I have to pay for my own shit.
Yeah. I'm not gonna get Netflix. That's for sure. I'll probably get like Hulu, and something else.
I probably would get Hulu too. I think Hulu's a little overhated, actually.
Overhated?
Because here's the thing: a lot of people say like, "Oh, it has ads." So do most services now.
Yeah.
And people say like, "Oh, everything you could find on there, you could find on a bunch of other services."
Yeah.
Then why would I pay for all those services when I could just have Hulu?
Yeah.
You know, like.
I think one of the beefs I have with Hulu is that it shows up on their streaming service, but it's like, oh, but you have to have it with this.
Oh yeah, the premium subscription. It's like, why? Why did I?
And I
have a
hate
premium
that because sometimes I'm like, oh, I want to watch this movie. Let me look it up, and it'll be like, oh, you can watch it on Hulu. I'm like, I have Hulu, and then I look, and it's like, actually, it's not on Hulu. It's actually on this other thing, but it shows up on Hulu, and it's like, oh, cool.
Excuse me.
That's awesome. Is there any? I mean, I'm just trying to remember. Peacock.
Peacock.
Peacock exists for sure.
Well, the Peacock is basically just the Office service because that's
Yeah.
like the only thing of note people have on
Why
there.
do we have Peacock? We have Peacock. Saturday Night Live is on there. Parks and Recreation, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. This is your parents' favorite comedies show. Streaming service. American. I thought that was going to be something I knew, but I don't know what American Auto is.
American Idol, I haven't heard of that.
Oh, AP Bio is good.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine is pretty good, I'd say.
Yeah, I haven't watched it.
I'd recommend it. It's pretty good. That goes for all you guys out there. I would give it a 8 out of 10. Put that on the letterbox.
I don't think I finished AP Bio. It has 4 seasons. Last time I think I watched it, it had 2. AP Bio is good.
What other services are there? Oh yeah, Paramount Plus. You have any thoughts on Paramount Plus?
I think I also have Paramount Plus, potentially.
Damn, bro is loaded.
I am loaded, even though we have a whole huge shelf of physical media. What they have? The Twilight Zone.
Yeah, that's the thing with Paramount Plus. Like, you don't expect it, but they actually have some kind of good shit on there.
Knuckles.
Yeah, they have.
They have a lot
show.
of new stuff.
Are you excited for Sonic 3 coming out soon, dude?
I didn't even watch the second one.
Yeah, we went to go see it in theaters together. Remember?
Did we? No, I wasn't there. I watched the first one in theaters.
Wait, were you not there for that? It was
No,
me, Nico, Shelby, and Jaden. Were you really not there?
I wasn't there.
Oh shit! Well, you missed a good movie.
Yeah, was that the one with no Knuckles is the new one, right?
No, Knuckles was in the second one.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't watch that.
And then he got the Knuckles show.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was a show. And then there's
you
a
just
third
looked
one.
at it.
Oh, I thought that. I don't know what I thought that was.
You thought it was a show where people just flex their
I thought it
knuckles?
was like Sonic 2, or I don't know. I don't know what I thought it was. I thought it was
Fair.
maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, Sonic 3 later this year. I'm excited for it, really.
What
Getting
are they
Shadow.
gonna do with it now? Shadow?
Yeah, Shadow's gonna be there. Amy's probably gonna be in it.
When's Robot Sonic gonna be there? That's the real question.
Okay, Metal Sonic.
Uh huh.
I really wanted to show up in this one because I think he's really cool, and I guess in you do too.
I don't really know a lot about Sonic. I just remember he exists for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm assuming in this one, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, my experience with Sonic is playing the first Sonic on like my like iPad, and then watching the first Sonic.
So
movie.
close. It's on the Sega.
Oh, but there was also like a mobile port. So anyways,
And we went to go see it in theaters
and
for.
I saw the first one in theaters, and that's
that was our Valentine's Day thing.
yeah. I think that's 100% of everything I've done with Sonic.
Fair enough. I was into it when I was a kid because I played a lot of the games, but other than that, I haven't really given much of a shit about it. But
Yeah.
I think it's cool.
Yeah, I feel like Sonic's really popular. Like I feel like he's like a Sonic level, or
He is.
I
a
feel
Sonic
like he's a
level
Mario
popularity.
level character.
Yeah, that's the thing. They
Despite
were like,
me having no relation with him at all. Like I've played Mario games my entire life, and
So what you're
he's
saying-
on his level.
So what you're saying is things can't be popular unless you're a fan of it?
No, I'm just saying, like, he's as prevalent in my mind as Mario is, and I've been playing Mario my whole life, and I've played at most like the first 2 levels of the first game.
Well, I
when
guess it's
grew
because
up.
like by the time we started giving a shit about video games in like the 2010s, Sonic was already basically a dead franchise. So like,
Yeah, I think it's just because I hear his name so much. It's kind of
Yeah.
like, you know.
Sonic, whoa, that's my Sonic impression.
Yeah,
Hey guys,
I didn't watch any like the TV shows that came out in like the 2010s or anything.
they did have a couple shows. I remember
They
that.
did have a couple shows.
Yeah,
like,
you want my impression of every Beatle?
oh God, yeah, sure.
All right. First off, for the pre-show, here's Sonic since we're talking about him. Hello, hey guys, it's me, Sonic.
That's awesome.
All right. Name a Beatle. I'll do the impression.
It's gonna be the same impression for every single one.
No, it isn't. Go.
Okay, Ringo.
Hey guys, it's me, Ringo. Ringo Starr.
Is
I'm
it-
in the Beatles. I play the drums.
And then George.
Hey guys, it's me, George Harrison. I'm the Beatles.
Sure. Okay, Paul.
Hey guys, it's me, Paul McCartney. I'm in the Beatles.
Yeah, and then John.
Hey guys, it's me, John Lennon.
Oh,
I'm in
no.
the Beatles.
That's great. So the first 3
I'd like to be
the first 3 are just different
under
pitched
the sea.
versions of the same voice.
No, I did different
You-
voices.
Yeah.
Okay, no.
I'm Ringo. I'm George.
No.
I'm Paul.
Okay, first of all, those aren't.
that was basically
No,
what
that's
you
not what
just
I
did.
did. It's like, hey guys, I'm Ringo. Hey guys, I'm George. Hey guys, I'm Paul. Hey guys, I'm John.
Yeah, and then the judge. Hey, I'm John.
I didn't do that. I was like, hey, I'm John
Yeah,
Lennon.
the
I said,
famous
hey
John
guys,
Lennon.
be John Lennon. There's a
Yeah.
difference, all right.
Yeah.
You know nothing about voiceover work.
Okay.
I unlike me, put all my voice acting credits up on the screen right now. That's the best thing. You're the editor, so I could just tell you to do
Yeah.
that, and then you will, or you won't
What do
probably.
you? The like no things ever? I don't know. What
are you
did I
talking
put
about?
up there? You're like, oh, what do you mean? I was in the Sonic TV show in the 2010s.
I voiced Sonic back in the
I was
day.
in the Twilight
Way
Zone.
past cool.
Back in the day.
So close. We
in
weren't
the
alive for
60s.
that. I was the
Were
voice.
we not?
of
That
a-
must have been right before we were born, huh?
No. Like,
Right when black and white was still in.
what joke are you trying to make here?
I'm trying to make I don't know that I'm dumb. I don't know.
I voiced the Beatles in all the animated Beatles movies.
Okay, so it sounds like you haven't voiced anything in your life.
Wait, did they do the voices in those movies, like the old animated Beatles?
No. In the Yellow Submarine or in
Yeah.
the cartoons, no.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a whole movie, a whole Beatles movie that features the actual Beatles for about 20 seconds.
They just couldn't get him for much longer.
No, they were just like, yeah, we don't care, just make the movie. And
it's
then
like,
and
"Hey,
then they
guys,
showed
it's-
up at the very end, and they were like, "Hey, we're the Beatles! Wow, what?
Hey guys,
it's a blue meanie!"
it's us the Beatles. It's the Blue Meanie. He's
Yeah.
gonna come get us.
And then they're like, "Whoa!"
Shut
and
up,
then-
Ringo. That's not gonna happen.
and
Yes,
credits,
it is.
And then there's credits.
And they'd like to be
Yeah,
under the sea. Man, the Beatles.
the Beatles.
Well, who sung Strawberry Fields Forever? Was that?
That was John.
Okay. Let me take you down, 'cause I'm going to
It's crazy. That's exactly
Strawberry
what it
Fields.
sounds like.
Nothing is real.
It's for sure.
I feel like me and you are kind of like Paul McCartney and John Lennon.
In what sense?
We kind of look like them.
Okay, sure. Who looks like who?
Is that even a question? Dude, you're the spitting image of John Lennon.
Yeah.
No, can people see the? Okay, you can't see the poster. Hey, you can see your album in the back with John. That's you. Long brown hair, glasses.
Yeah, long brown hair, glasses, and that's what John Lennon looks like. And that's
Yeah,
his
he
whole,
does. Like,
that's his whole everything.
okay, do you beat women?
No.
Why?
That's where the similarities end. Everything up to, you know.
No, but you play guitar. You talk about the Beatles all the time. You're like,
And you resemble Paul Howe. You don't have glasses. And that's
yeah,
it.
exactly.
Perfect.
No, but we have kind of a similar haircut.
Mm,
We both have like roundish faces.
sure.
We both, we walk wearing,
we walk.
we walk
We
in the
talk.
in the roads.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I walk in roads too.
Yeah, so does John. Like,
Oh,
there we go.
That's so true, actually. I didn't even think about that.
You play guitar too. John does as well.
Yeah, Paul does too.
Yeah, so do I.
Okay. I feel like every argument you could make except for the hair and glasses is just circumstantial.
All right, fine. You're being you're downgraded to Ringo.
Oh no, because Ringo famously long brown hair, glasses, and plays guitar.
And famously a little bitch.
Yeah, he's a little bitch on the drums.
All right, fine. All the stats, you're getting downgraded to George Harrison.
That's an upgrade. I don't know what you're talking about.
Nobody cares about George Harrison.
You think people care more about Ringo than
Yes, people do.
What are you
No,
smoking today?
No, because Ringo's like the joke Beatle, because everyone like clowns on him, so he's like everyone knows him. George Harrison's just kind of like left in the dust.
I will admit, the first time I remember this before I listened to the Beatles. I was like, what are the four Beatles again? It was like Paul, John, Ringo, and who? And I looked it up.
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
like, George? What? His name's George?
Despite
like,
being
what?
arguably
That's like
most
my
talented
uncle's
member.
name.
Okay, do you know nobody named Paul or John?
No, actually, I have no family members named Paul or John. I'm pretty sure.
George Harrison. If you're listening to this, George Harrison, we'd love to have you on the show.
Yeah, he's.
Oh, is he one of
They
the
have
dead
a
ones?
radio down there in the coffin,
I always forget that.
and we're on the radio.
you know what I think is funny about the Beatles. Remember they had the song when they restored like the audio, made the final song.
Yeah.
Paul and Ringo, they weren't in the same room to record like the scene where it's like them together, and then
Yeah.
John and George show up like fucking Force ghosts.
Yeah.
Well, like why didn't Paul and George get in the same room together? They have stuff better to do
I don't
than
know.
the final Beatles song. Like,
I think I don't know. I think
do you think Yoko had any involvement?
I think she signed off on using John's vocals and stuff, but I don't think she had any involvement in it.
What do you think of Yoko? Because I know she's very controversial among Beatles fans. I don't think she broke up the Beatles like some people say.
A lot of people are like she broke up the Beatles. I feel like I feel like a lot of people nowadays, like unless you don't really know anything about the Beatles and just heard Yoko broke up the Beatles, most people
Just
are kind of
believe that.
educated nowadays. I feel like recently the sentiment is like, yeah, Yoko didn't break up the Beatles. She's actually chill. Like,
Yeah.
I
She was
feel-
a bad singer, but besides that, she was pretty alright.
I feel like she didn't help, but I feel like especially Paul has helped that kind of sentiment because he's like done interviews where he's like, it wasn't Yoko's fault. We were already drifting apart.
Yeah, he was like, oh, it wasn't
we already
Yoko.
had our
No, that's
problems.
Ringo. Oh, that wasn't Yoko who did that.
Yeah.
Or it's Old Man Paul, so it's like, oh, it isn't Yoko that did that.
Yeah.
Really?
You think that's yeah?
And here's my Yoko.
She is interesting. There's this really funny clip. John Lennon has the chance of a lifetime to perform with Chuck
Berry.
Chuck Berry, his,
I like
his
at the-
lifelong idol,
for good reason. He's an iconic singer.
and Yoko's there,
And she
screaming her head off.
just grabs the mic.
They gave her bongos to play, and then
The fucking
and
pity instrument.
it was mic'd up, and eventually she just picks up the microphone and starts screaming, and eventually you can kind of tell that John's like, okay.
And like Chuck's also just kind of like, ugh.
Oh yeah, there's like a thing where like he goes like, what's up with that? And then eventually they turn off her microphone, and she doesn't know, and you can like, John's like, okay. You can kind of tell he was
Yeah.
like, now it's not the time, babe.
Well, at least he treats her better than Cynthia Lennon. Uh-oh.
Wow.
Whoa.
He beat his wife for sure.
What, do you not believe that he beat his wife?
No, I was just saying that's the joke is that he beat his
Oh,
wife.
yeah. I was going to say, because like, I know you're a diehard Beatles defender, but...
Yeah, no, the Beatles actually were spectacular to their spouses.
Yeah, that's the thing. Everyone talks about John, but like, let's not forget Ringo was also not very...
All four of them were not great. If they were
Even George, I heard stuff about Paul, but like I didn't hear anything about George.
well, I think the thing is a lot of the Beatles cheated on their wives.
Yeah.
Because imagine you are a young pop star and there are hundreds of thousands of young girls who want to fuck you. Eventually, it's gonna slip through the cracks for
Yeah.
one of them. They're gonna be
mean,
like,
like,
all right.
I mean, they were only
especially since they're also like, I guess at that point they wouldn't have been smoking pot as much, but
Yeah, but I mean, they were only 17, if you know
yeah.
what I mean. What does that mean, Paul? Like, let us...
Yeah, that line. Paul's
was
like
only
was asking about that line,
17,
and he was like,
And you know
he didn't really
what
have
I
much
mean.
to say. He was like, I don't know. We just kind of wrote it. I don't know.
You get what I mean, don't you? It's the 60s, man. It's cool.
Yeah, I think that age of consent is a little lower the UK. I think it's 16 over there. If that helps in any case at all.
Yeah, of course, you know the laws there.
And I've just heard about it.
Fun fact, guys, there was this one time, like, I think it was a year ago, where, like, we were looking up, there's something on the news about how the age of consent in Japan is, like, 14, and I was like, wow, that's kind of low, but then Lucas started, like, booking the flights over there. It's like, why'd you do that?
No, my crazy weekend in Japan.
Yeah.
Famously, been there. I didn't actually go to Japan ever in my life. I'm going to go there eventually.
Yeah. Oh, wait, you remember that time we were talking about how, like, the age of consent in America is 18, and you said it should be 14? That was fucking disgusting. What's wrong with you? Like,
this is great to say on a public podcast. It just spreading lies. I love this bit.
Lucas didn't say it.
I didn't say that.
Are you going to cut this out?
I don't have to.
Lucas is not a pedophile.
I do not want to lower the age of consent to 14, for the record.
Wow.
You see a little bar moving?
I accidentally rolled over at, like, a corner. I want to make sure I didn't, like, ruin
yeah.
the microphone.
How far are we into this? 55 minutes, is that? We'll keep going.
It is 55 minutes, so it doesn't feel that long.
I wanted to talk a little bit about my music taste recently.
I do want to say one more thing, though. My favorite Beatles
Yeah.
story is the George Harrison loses virginity story.
Yeah.
Because like I thought it was like they were in a different room and then he walked out and told them, but weren't they in the bed above them?
Yeah, I think they were in like bunk beds. My understanding
Did
of the
the
story,
girl he lost it with did she know they were there?
I mean, she must have.
But here's the thing. 'Cause
There's no way you don't know about 3 other guys.
I know.
And you're with George Harrison, and there's 3 other bunks. I wonder.
Oh, I thought they were all snug in a bug in one bunk.
I don't know exactly what the details of the story.
I
It'd be
just-
weird if there were all like all 3 of them on top of there. Like,
The way I just find it funny because imagine just like you're just some girl in the 1960s banging like one of the guy in like the biggest group of like
Yeah.
basically all time and will be in the
Yeah.
best group of all time for like not best group biggest group of all time for like forever, and then just his 3 bandmates turn over and they're just like, oh yeah, good job,
I mean, there must be some kind of like.
congratulations George, you did it
the-
good. I like you, George.
I mean, it's not like they're 3 strangers. It's like, oh well, these are the other bandmates that I like. am crazy in love with. That's cool.
I know,
guess.
but it would just feel. I feel
It'd
like
be a little embarrassing, but it'd also be like.
I feel like I
these
would just
guys are
start
cool.
screaming if that happened because imagine like.
Imagine that she doesn't know, and then there's clapping.
Yeah, exactly.
And she's like, oh.
I'd fucking freak out. Like Lucas, just name a random famous person.
Harry Styles.
Yeah, you would. Just imagine like you're banging Harry Styles and then just like
I probably should have saw that coming.
and then just like the rest of the members of One Direction just come out and just like, good job, Harry. I don't know what the rest of them sound like, but
I don't know either. I don't even know what he sounds like.
or like if you're fucking like Chris Evans and then like the rest of the Marvel
rest of
actors
the
come out.
Aven-
The rest of the Avengers come
all
out.
Marvel actors.
Literally like it's a fuck like it's a
Yeah.
post credit scene.
That'd be.
There's Robert Downey
Yeah.
Jr. just like, oh, good job
They're
for
all in
doing
the
that.
top bunk. They're all like, hey, that was awesome, guys.
Yeah. Anyways, what about your stupid?
Anyways,
music
yeah.
tastes?
So.
Nah, I'm kidding. He likes good music.
Recently, in the past month, I've been listening a lot. I've been kind of rediscovering Tally Hall, because there was
Tally Hall.
yeah. So there was a
I
long
love
time,
Tally Hall.
where I didn't listen to them, mostly because my girlfriend at the time hated that band with a passion.
Wait, I thought it was the other way around. Like she really liked it, and then he just started to hate it because of that.
No.
Was that a different story? Was that like
That might have been a different story. But-
his relationships have affected his love for Tally Hall very much?
Yeah, well, it wasn't that I didn't want to listen anymore, but I was like, all right, I'll stop listening, because she was like, she hated.
My phone
She
fell.
hated that band.
Was this before or after you were Rob Cantor for Halloween?
This was after, but yeah, she hated that band, and so I had to stop listening. And I kind of had to make myself not like their music, and then recently, I've been kind of like, all right, well, I'll listen again, and I found this time around originally, the first album, Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum,
Yes.
was my favorite, but this time around I found myself listening a lot more to their second album.
Good and Evil?
Yeah.
Really? I wouldn't have expected that.
I think recently in my life, I've been thinking a lot more about like kind of like I don't. Appreciate the deepness of some of the songs on that album. I've also been listening almost religiously to Hawaii Part 2.
Oh yes, very very good album. Check it out if you.
I almost never listened to it before. Because I just kind of was like, oh, this is like a weird kind of album. And then recently I was like, I found kind of this new appreciation for it, and I've been like listening to it. And for the longest time, there's this song on that album. It's by a band called a band called Miracle Musical.
Well, yeah, all the songs that album are.
Yeah, I was just saying, that's like what the album's by. And there's one song on the album called "The Mind Electric."
Oh,
And
yeah.
for the longest time, I used to skip it because I thought the whole song was reverse. But it turns out the whole song plays in reverse, and then it plays forward, which I appreciate. I think it's very artistically, it's very artistically substantive. Like, I appreciate it, like what it like is supposed to mean, because the whole song's about like getting electric shock therapy because this guy's like losing his mind.
Yeah. I mean, that's just a theory. Or did they confirm it?
I mean, I don't think they confirmed it, but it's like there's like literally a line that like electric shocks hit my temples.
Yeah.
So it's like that's like obviously what the song's supposed to be. That's like one of the only songs that have like an actual kind of clear meaning. You get over there?
I want to make sure it's still recording because it got to
Yeah.
like it says 60 over there in the corner, and I thought that meant like because it wasn't moving. I thought that meant we hit the hour mark and we
No,
stopped
it's
recording. But
hour 1 minute.
yeah,
there.
I see.
But yeah, so like I
Mind if I
appreciate.
grab another drink?
Go for it.
Cool. Keep talking.
But I appreciate the art of it. But sometimes I'm like, I wish that they released a normal version. So I did. No, I still have 2 sodas in here. But sometimes I'm like, I wish they released a normal version that doesn't have the whole song backwards first.
No, yeah.
Just because it's like sometimes I like, because I really like that song and I've been listening to it a lot. But it's like, I don't like, sometimes I like, when I'm listening to the whole album, I'll listen to the whole backwards part. But sometimes I'm just like, I just want to listen to the forward part. But I have to like skip forward in the song, and I'm like, it'd just be easier.
I think I heard somewhere there was like a version of that on like some other obscure album that they made, but I haven't really checked into it.
Yeah.
My thing with Tally Hall, any OG members of the podcast remember, like, here's the thing. I remember I first got into them when we were recording episode 2.
Yeah.
So for real OG fans, you've been with me for my entire fucking Tally Hall journey. And there was an era where like I used to just like stop listening to them because the fan base is so fucking annoying.
So that's one of the worst things is like I would love to like put my love for them out there more, but I feel like being a Tally Hall fan, it kind of has a reputation of like being a teenage girl. It's kind of like liking the Beatles, like mid Beatlemania. It's like, do I want to say I'm a Beatles fan and be associated with girls who scream at the top of their lungs and meet them at the airport?
Yeah.
It's like,
but you know what? At least we could give you this to give this at least. Tally Hall fans were nowhere near the level of Beatles fans.
like,
so
yeah, obviously, but like they have just like I feel like they have a little more of like a weird kind of obsession. Like I love Tally Hall because I'm a musician, and a lot like musically, like they're some of the most creative musicians I've ever listened to. Like I listen to their music and I like. I can really appreciate like the creativity that went into these songs.
Yeah.
But like that's as deep as it goes. Like I think like I just think they're incredible creative people. But a lot of people like are like, oh my gosh, like I just love them. They're so cool, and like I don't know, like I don't know. It's kind of a weird dynamic, but like I just think that musically, like. For one example, this is like the example I like to mention a lot is their song Haiku, which like I think it's just the verses. They are written entirely in haiku format, except there's one extra syllable at the end to make it just a little off, because the whole song is about not being able to write a haiku and failing.
Yeah.
So the whole song is like not like just like not getting it right, and the whole song is formatted just not right until the very end when he finally gets it and hums the right haiku.
Yes.
And it's like that's so cool. Like you would never know that unless like you kind of looked into it and like kind of like, oh, this is cool. But like it's just, I don't know. It's just like musically, it's just so interesting what they did, and they're so creative. But you know, it just feels like it gets a little, like the community gets a bit of a bad rap.
Nah, yeah. At the very least, we could say it isn't. The bad rap is like a little deserved because of just like. Here's the thing: it's not as like egregiously bad as like some fan bases are. Like nothing like really bad has happened, but it's just like motherfuckers are so cringe. Like,
yeah, they're very cringy. I think that's like, I don't know, it is very cringy.
yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I think they blew up in like. I think it's safe to say like 2021 is when they became really popular.
Yeah,
I started liking them in 2020. So you know,
Yeah.
I did before it was cool, and you knew who they were before they were
I
cool,
was
so.
introduced to them through you.
Yeah,
Because I remember you had me listen to their music. Because originally we were going to do a thing where I had to listen to Tally Hall, and then like I think you had to listen to like some Beatles things or whatever. And
I remember because like I said you would listen to every all of their discography, and I listened to all the Beatles discography, which I feel like I put a bit more on myself than what was needed for that. But
I don't know. Yeah, that was a little crazy, but
I love the Beatles.
I remember listening then and not really thinking much of it. And there's a journal or like some kind of like notebook somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know where it is, but somewhere on the last page on the back, it has my initial reviews of some of the songs on Good and Evil. Like the first time I listened to them. And I've like looked so much, and I don't think I have it anymore, which is very sad because I'd love to see like what I wrote down. But I just like I listened and I was like I never ended up finishing it, and then like sometime later I ended up revisiting it, and I was like, oh, and I was surprised like how many songs I had heard on TikTok, because at the time the band had been kind of going like viral on TikTok.
Yeah.
Like I'd seen like The Bidding in a few, and I'd seen Ruler of Everything. Ruler of Everything was like super viral for like a minute.
No, exactly. I think it was just because like it was kind of a meme song. For
Yeah,
a bit,
it was a meme
which I
song.
think like made it reach out.
Yeah,
and,
which is
like,
another like thing. Is like it's a meme song. Like ugh.
Yeah, which here's the
another
thing. It got
kind of
into
cringy thing.
I feel like
you
that was
know?
one of the first things that got into the limelight. So like I'm kind
Yeah.
of happy about that. That's, like,
I'm
it's a bit
glad,
more
but
popular.
like the at this point the meme's a little cringe now, and it's like, oh, you know, this is
Yeah.
like again what they're associated with, and it's like, all right, you know.
I honestly I just kind of feel bad that they only blew up like so late into their careers because like
Yeah.
as said they blew up in early 2020s. They weren't. I think they broke up in like at least 2011.
Well, they're
so.
technically on hiatus.
Well, they're
Each
not getting
member-
back together.
Each member has expressed like hopes of doing it again. Joe Hawley, his personal life is, as well as most of the band, is very private.
Yeah,
They-
I can't
they
really
don't
name
share a
like
lot.
most about like most of their personal
I
lives.
know. Rob does a lot of Disney music.
Yeah.
He's been doing that a lot. Zubin and Ross got
Yeah, they're
doctorates
like
and they're
doctors now,
doctors.
so that's the thing. They're definitely busy, so it's very
Yeah.
rare that they're gonna
And
come back.
Zubin
if
has like
anything.
kids, and he like
Hmm.
doesn't have any public social media. And then Andrew and Joe have just been doing music.
I guess the saddest thing is just like, you know, I think like every year there's hope of like, oh, this is it, guys are gonna reunite.
Yeah.
But with the controversies and like, Ross and Zubin are doing their own thing,
Yeah.
and Rob is like, he's working on a Disney now, so
Yeah.
he's,
It's kind of I don't.
it's very unlikely that we're gonna get like a reunion.
Yeah. I mean, Joe hasn't done anything for a while. The last thing he did was in like 2016 when he released his only
Album.
solo album, which did include some members of Tally Hall in it. They helped. Like Zubin contributed on Rotary Park, which is about
Oh, yeah.
how they got beaten and robbed at a place called Rotary Park, and the whole song's about how it's so cool after dark,
Oh,
which
yeah,
is
exactly.
obviously, But Zubin contributed on that and, stuff like that, but not a lot of news besides for that.
Oh well.
But I mean, they're still like making merch and stuff, which is like they had like U2's plushies. Not too
I do
long
remember
ago.
that's a big one. My thing with that is like I feel like it's weird to just own a stuffed animal of just like a guy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I mean, if you have one of those, like it's cool, definitely, and like they would be cool collector's items. But it just feels weird to me personally. That's basically like any like YouTuber stuffed animal, where it's just like a stuffed animal of just like some 20-year-old college student who's just like, this SpongeBob episode is weird.
Yeah, the merch is really. I think stuffed animals, especially like I get like like the normal YouTube's figures. It's like all right, it's like a cool, it's like a Funko Pop, but of like something that they wouldn't make a Funko Pop of, you know?
Yeah. Which I find funny that they finally ventured into like non-YouTuber stuff, because then you just have like, because they have stuff like, you know,
Like Sonic. And
like they have Sonic, they have Godzilla,
which is
they
so
have, like,
weird. It's like
many iconic stuff, but then you also have like a fucking Odd Ones Out or something.
yeah,
U2s.
I never really liked U2s.
I never really cared for them
personally.
either, but you know.
I always thought they were like really expensive and not that worth it.
Yeah, definitely. But with that, I feel like I think it's a good place to call it.
Yeah, I think that was good. So
Good, because we were going to anyways.
yeah, yes.
So everyone, I've been your host, Seamus Landy,
And I've been your host, Lucas Suchek.
and we will see you next month.
We sure will.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.